Hey y'all, John here from Second Chance Composting. So today I am going to do a review of the LoadHandler LH3000. Um, this is a piece of equipment we bought about a year ago, um, and it's helped us a lot. So I can give you the details, why it's important to us, and just go from there. Please like and subscribe to our videos. Second Chance Composting is our company. We serve the Berkshires, Mass, and parts of southern Vermont for all sorts of composting needs. One of them being sale of finished compost, which really this comes in handy for us, as well as some firewood we do, and really getting anything out of the truck that we need to. So let me talk a little bit about it here and tell you what we've liked and haven't liked about it. So first, this is it right here. As you can see, it's got one end there that latches on and one end there that latches on. Now, the design itself, it was a little bit hard to put together as far as making sure this was the right way. I was kind of taken aback by the fact that this tarp that rolls out is only held together by tape on the underside of this. So when you get this package, this part will be free from the bar. You actually have to tape it onto the bar, which I felt could have been designed better, maybe somehow held into the part here, maybe stitched in or somehow attached other than tape, because we have had this start to come off underneath when we unrolled it too much. So that's a flaw. And then we had it fraying a little bit, so I just put some extra tape around this outside just to make sure it doesn't fray too much. You can see it fraying on the side a little bit. I'll probably update that a little bit as we use it more, because I don't want it to fray. As far as putting it together, the instructions weren't that good. I had to find some guys online that had put it together. So, but after that, it was really making sure that this was going to roll out the correct way. So it comes with two Velcros, one here and one there. That's to use when you're driving and you have it rolled up, because I have driven it without that and it does unroll and it'll go flying in the wind. You don't want that if you don't have anything on it. So in addition, it comes with these clips. These clips attach it on after it's on your bed and hold them to the bottom of the bed to hold it down. I'll show you that after. And then lastly, we have this bar, which I'll get into more. So let me show you how it goes on first. So there's two ends. This end has the hole for putting the bar through in that little red part there. You see that? And then this end does not. And something else I don't like about this design, this just pops right off and it can fall off. I feel like there should be something to hold it on here, which I can probably just get something, but I feel like it should have came with it. It does have these bolts to put it on correctly and tighten it. I found that we don't actually have to do that. So just put it on and it'll stay on enough with the attachments, these ropes. So let me show you. You have to make sure you put it on the right way. Whatever side you're going to roll off from, you have to remember. So we always put the red on the left. So what we do, pop it up there, pop it up there. Now it's on. You just want to make sure that it's not too far and that your tailgate's going to be able to shut. So that's on there. That's on there. Now I could screw this down if I wanted and keep it really tight, but I found it's kind of labor intensive and don't really need to do it, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this, put it through the bottom of the tailgate on both sides, and that's going to attach. So let me show you that next. Just hold it on. It'll stay on itself. Feed this up through. That's on. Let me show you how I did that over here a little bit better. See that? I'm just going to take this strap that goes underneath, feed it through. Let me show you. comes up through here. See that? And then we just attach it to here like so. Just hand tight is enough. So now it's on. Again, I could make sure it shuts. See, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be far enough over. Now it's on. That could be me not attaching this tight enough. Like I said, that would keep it in place more, but I found that it kind of ends up being a waste of time. Now just be mindful of these because these are going to come into play when we put it on underneath. So that one works fine. This one already broke on me. I'll show you why. Here we go. So basically, let me put you up in here real quick. Here we go. Put you down a little bit here. You can see what we're doing. Windy day here. Beautiful November day, really. So now we're just going to take this off. Take these, store them in your vehicle, don't lose these. Simple enough. Now what you do, simple enough. Put you on this side now so you can see. So basically we're unrolling it. Now I feed it under this, under the gate, in the section in between the bed, cab. Feed it down enough. I found that if I don't feed it down enough, when you add stuff in, this will pop forward and you won't get all your material on the mat itself. So I put it down in there and make sure it's flush there. Now when I dump something in, it won't come back and miss a lot of your material. Same thing on this end. So I do the same thing here. I just make sure it's flush. You see that? Flush there. That way when I add material in, it's not going to fall off to the side and ruin when it comes out. In addition, I make sure that I do not unroll this all the way. So when I unrolled it all the way before, I really fed it far under this way, further than I needed it to. I fed that way through. And what happened was, this was at the end where it's taped on. And that's when I ran into the problem of, sorry, one second here. That's where I ran into the problem of it becoming unraveled and the tape coming off. So as long as that's got some little bit of extra underneath, it pulls itself tight without ripping it off. So make sure you have a little bit of the mat left on the bar so that it doesn't pull itself off. So that's on. Now, as you can see, it fits. It's like an 8 feet. I have an 8-foot bed, so that's fine. And then I think it's about 4 feet wide. So this is really good for cordwood. So I can stack, because my bed's 8 feet, that's 4 feet long. I can stack my wood and get a cord in here. I can get it about 3 high, and then I just kind of fill the sides. When I get to the place to drop off the wood, I take out what was on the sides, and then I can actually roll the whole rest of the cord out, which is really convenient. You just want to make sure that when you're loading anything in here, especially wood, which you can control more, you don't want to load it where you're going to hit these when you come out. It's pretty common sense, but if you load it, if I put a bunch of wood up in that corner and I start wheeling it out and it hits this, your whole pile is going to get screwed up and it's not going to come out properly. So easy to do with wood, just takes a little time, but with compost, wood chips, which we've also loaded in here, it's a little bit harder to kind of keep that to work, because we end up loading it and we have some compost on the side that doesn't roll out with everything. And I'll show you that a little bit more as I go through. Let me come back down here. So, next step, we would get on site. We would load it up with whatever our material is. Try to keep it organized in there so it's all gonna roll out properly. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop it open when you get there. I've also found one time I loaded the firewood all the way to the back and I couldn't open it. The tailgate was stuck. So I had to move a couple pieces, but that's only happened once with firewood. There was too much weight. So give yourself a little leeway. You pull it out. Now what you're gonna do is, hopefully you can see this. Take these clips. These clip underneath your gate, on your bumper, basically. I'll show you. Clip those on there, and you're gonna put it through here. Now this is where my problem came in. If you see this, I'll show you in a second. Just gonna clip it on. Make sure it's not backwards like I just did it. Keep it flush. Show you here. Now, it's gonna attach underneath here. Can you see that? This little thing is gonna, and you're just gonna pull it tight with this here. Now it's on tight. The only issue is this thing, one time when I was pulling some stuff out, broke. So this does not hold on properly anymore. So one time I was pulling some stuff out, I had a mat underneath here, and the mat got caught underneath this part of my tailgate, and the mat started dragging underneath the tailgate, so it's kind of got this whole thing caught up in itself. And because it was pulling all of that, this had so much pressure on it, it pulled itself off and kind of, it's not broken, but it's not ideal. So when I get to a place, I actually have to kind of hold this down or tie it so that it doesn't pop off. I'll show you over here what it should look like. So it should just pop on there. Actually, you should do it like this first. Pop it. And I'm going slow just to show you, but this is not a hard setup. Boom, done. Now it's on tight. That's gonna hold. And what that does is that holds the tailgate down with the pressure from when you roll it out. So you get on site, you back up to where you need to be. You see me here. And you place it in here. Let me show you that. You take this is where it goes. Simple. You place this in here and you roll it out. Let me show you that. I'm like M. Night Shyamalan or something here with my directing skills. All right, so piece goes in here. Now imagine there be wood chips or something in here, and basically it's gonna roll itself out and roll in. And all the stuff would come out. I had videos of that, so there we go. It'd be a little harder than this. Sometimes this would latch off because of the weight. That's why that thing is, I need to get a new one or find a better way of doing it. So we basically do that, roll it out. I wish I had material to show you. This comes right out, and then we would put our things back on. Let me show you one more thing here. Now it's going to be on. Now it's on, safe to drive down the road without flapping. This would go back in the truck. You pop these off. Pop them off. Right? Now you have them. Keep them in the truck. Don't lose them. Same with the bar. I keep the bar right under my seat. Put this in the glove compartment or a middle console. Pop it back up, and you're good for next time. Actually taking it off is not a huge deal. Pretty easy to do. I'll just talk a little bit now about how it's worked for us. So again, this is the LoadHandler LH3000. One more thing. This, as you can see, is actually bent. When that piece that got stuck underneath the tailgate held on, I was pulling this so hard into the hole and pushing it that it actually bent the bar. So I should have known something was wrong, but don't do that. Something else. They used to make a mat that would go underneath into your truck bed that would sit there to make it more slick to pull things out, but they don't make it anymore. I contacted the company and they discontinued making it. So what I did is I went and bought this piece of, it was almost like cardboard, like shower board, and it worked really well as far as keeping it slick. The only problem was that got wet once and it started to disintegrate, and when it disintegrated is when it started getting caught underneath my tailgate, and then that's when I had, bent this and couldn't get it out. So I'm actually probably going to buy something. It was like 30 bucks for that piece of cardboard. So I'm going to buy something heavier duty, maybe like a plastic piece for 80 bucks or something, just because the heavier stuff will be able to get out easier that way. And I think it really does make a difference. So that's another thing that I do recommend. I feel like this thing is, as far as like some of the flaws I've pointed out, like this bending, that was kind of my fault, but the part underneath snapping or not clipping correctly was something that I feel like could have been made a little bit better, but this thing has done so much work for us. And we did buy, this is about a little bit over $200 for this thing. We had originally bought a different one, a cheaper one. There's one on the market for like $50 that's made out of plastic. It wouldn't even fit on our tailgate because our tailgate's pretty thick. So I got it in the mail, went to put it on, and it wouldn't even fit. So this one I made sure that was going to fit the tailgate. And again, it's the LoadHandler, and I'm happy with it. So it fits. Those certain flaws, again, partially my fault that time pulling the stuff out with the mat underneath that got caught, but this thing one time saved me. I deliver compost. I can put 3 yards of compost in this truck. Now, like I said, you will want to get it onto the mat as well as possible, and if you don't, you're going to be coming afterward and shoveling it out from the side. It's just part of the deal. So even if I have 3 yards in there and I roll off 80% of it, I'm still shoveling out 20%, but rolling it off takes literally 15 seconds, and then I have to shovel maybe for another 2 minutes to make sure it's all out. Whereas if I'd done it by hand, you're talking 20 minutes to get 2 or 3 yards of compost out of here, which is not efficient. So for the money, it's really worth it. I feel like the cheaper alternative, it's not worth even investing your money in unless you're using it once or twice. This thing, I've been able to load up cordwood. I said delivered cords of wood with this. Really, one of the best things I've done is I went and got some logwood and I put it all on the mat. And then when I got back to here, I just rolled it out, which would have taken me, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes and a lot of bending over and muscle to throw it all out of the truck. And it was literally like 10 seconds, rolled it, and all of it came out. That's just making sure you place it all on the mat. Again, the compost, you can't get it all on the mat. You will be shoveling some out, but it's still going to save you time. This was a little over $200. I'd say I made my money back in 2 deliveries with this thing as far as the time. Again, the other one, cheaper one, if you want to get it, but this is heavier duty, sturdier. Really the next step up is like a dump dog, which would be a placement in your truck, which is a lot more expensive, thousands of dollars. And we use our truck for a lot of different things. So I've have pressure washers in here, water totes, generators on our pickup days. So we kind of like, our truck becomes a different tool. So on our pickup days of food scraps, we're using it to have our rinsing equipment. And then I'll take all that stuff out and the next day of a delivery of compost. So this works really well for us because we can do both things. The alternative to that would be to get like a dump trailer, which I have. But a lot of times the dump trailer will not fit into places. So this is really good to say, hey, if you only want 3 yards, I can get it to wherever you want. Whereas if you want more than 3, I'm going to need significant space to turn around back in, and a lot of places won't be accessible with that setup. So this is ideal for us. We can back into somebody's place, roll it out, and shove out what's left and be on our way. The only thing with the compost is it does get stuck in these ridges. So I bring that broom up to the corner that broke the other day, and I broom it out that way. Really, that's kind of the gist of it. I feel like the dump body that you could get placed in here, like a dumper dog or something else similar to that, would be so much more expensive. And where we're at building the business, this works really well. It saves us time. Again, I made my money back with this, probably 2 deliveries, just saving my back and time, efficiency on a job, so much quicker. And for the firewood, it's really ideal. Obviously, you don't want to overload it. There's a weight limit. I've been able to get 3 yards out of here with no problem, and compost is heavy. And then the other alternative is buying some sort of dump truck, which I had. But then you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. You're talking upkeep. You're talking DOT fees. You have to go and go to a doctor and make sure you can get approved to be DOT. You have to pay a bunch of money for DOT fees every year, every 2 years, for yourself, for your drivers. You got to go through a whole It was a big runaround. This is simple, gets the job done, it's versatile, only takes a couple minutes to set it up and put it on each time. I mean, I could set it up in 5 minutes now and take it off in 5 minutes, or you can leave it on and drive around with it. Like I said, our use is pretty different each time for our truck, so I'm always kind of moving stuff in and out of here, but it works well for what we need it for, and I would recommend it. A couple of those flaws, like I said, you can see here it's fraying off a little bit, and I'll fix that with some tape. The bar, get yourself something to put underneath to keep it slick. I would not recommend getting what I got. It worked for a little while. It was just a thin, basically what you would put in the wall in your shower, I think, or it was white, thin, slick material on top, but it had like a cardboard underneath. I don't know, maybe shower board, but realistically they make something that was like $30, I think. They make something for $80 that's plastic that will make it slick to really help anything heavy kind of roll out itself. And the mat won't move, but it will help everything else come off. So highly recommended. I mean, even if you're doing this only part-time or delivering a little bit of wood or a little bit of compost, or I haven't done rocks or anything like that, but even that stuff, and you can kind of get it to wherever you need it to and roll it out. So I recommend it. It's been good for us, saved us a lot of time, money. Happy with it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is John from Second Chance Composting. SecondChanceComposting.com is our website. Please like and subscribe to our videos. We do all sorts of composting videos about how we do our process, our equipment, reviews, things like that. So take care, everybody. Happy composting. Thanks for your time.